Hey everyone, I'm Zahan from Lotus Tunes, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to create ambient textures or ambient pads for your track in Ableton. Let's say we start with a drum loop like this. And now we want to move on to the next step of the track. With pads, the track sounds like this. Already it sounds much more melodic and almost as if the track has a unique character and feeling to it. And from then on we can add a bass line so the track becomes more full. And we already have a track going. Method number one. Method number one is going to be granular synthesis. Okay, let's just check out our sample library and take this Rhodes sample, for instance. I'm going to add it into Granulator 2. You can, of course, use any other granular synthesizer, but I'm just going to be using this one because it's free from Ableton. We're going to draw in a note like this. So what I basically did here is I dragged in a sample into Granulator 2 and I gave it some MIDI information. So right now it's playing this note over here. Let's say I really like this region over here. I'm going to go into my effects panels and just select a reverb. Any reverb works, but I'm going to be choosing Black Hole for the purpose of this video because I just freaking love this plugin. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? We already have ourselves a pad, a texture. And what we can do from here on is just tweak the parameters of the plugin or granulator in this case, and select our favorite region of the sample. Gonna loop this. Awesome. I mean, it's so simple. It's amazing how simple it is to just drag and drop a sample, have this plugin, and create a pad from it. Let's say we want to have a piano. Yeah. And if you want to create moving textures for your track, what you can do is you can automate this little file position over here. So we start off at 0 and we move up towards here. If that isn't awesome, then I don't know what is. It's just the simplicity and the beauty that you can create with granular synthesis, and especially Granulator 2. So thanks to the developers for making this plugin. Method number 2, leveraging the power of effects. For this specific example, I'm going to be using a couple of sounds from my Ambiente sample pack, which I'll get back to later on. But I have a few transitions here that I really like. Let's see, I like this vocal type transition. I'm going to load it into a MIDI track here. I'm going to select the start region where the sample is at its peak. And I'm just going to start to draw in a couple of notes. Yeah, I'm going to use Black Hole for the sake of this video. You can use any other plugin. I realize that Valhalla Reverb really works well with this too. But just for the sake of this video, we're going to be using Black Hole again. I'm going to just increase the mix knob here. And it truly is as simple as that. The only thing we needed is a simple sample, anything really. We can even use transition sound like this, crop the sample to our liking, and add reverb. What we need is a lot of mix. And this doesn't only work for samples, it also works for synthesizers. Tip number 3, freezing your sample. This is one of my favorite tips because it allows you to create static, ambient, and atmospheric sounds. So let's say you have an arpeggio, a melody, a sample, or anything really, and you want to create an ambient texture or pad from it. But just to get into the example, we have this simple melody over here. But notice that we are also using the Easy Atmos rack, which I will provide for you in the description below for free. And all we have to do is tweak this knob to freeze the sample or freeze the sound whenever we want to. And there we have it. We have our ambient atmospheric sound just by turning a knob. Okay, let's actually resample this to audio. Gonna create a new audio track, hit resampling, record, solo this, and I'm just gonna record it. So let's say we really like this specific section of the sample that we resampled from here. We're gonna create a 1-bar loop and loop that here. Loop it. There we go. And of course we have a couple of clicks in between, but we can create fades so that we don't have them anymore. There we go. And then again, we can add some more reverb to the sample here. Add some gain. The beauty of this is we can actually combine it with what we used before. So it's a really simple technique to just add value to your track from using what you already have. Easy Atmos rack. It's really fun to play with. It's gonna be for free for you in the description below. Tip number 4. For this, we're gonna be using Ableton's Corpus effect in combination with some reverb and an EQ to push up some harmonics of the sample. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So we're gonna be using the same sample that we had before. And in this case, we're gonna load up our Corpus, which is here, Audio Effects, Corpus. So we can fine tune the sound to our liking and increase the dry wet. It simply changes the complete character of the sound that we had before and adds a more organic texture or organic vibe to it. What we're gonna be doing from here on is adding some reverb. Increase the wet knob. It already sounds cool. And what I'm doing is I'm just tweaking the different settings, the different knobs, until the sound gets really enriched in harmonics. Now I'm gonna add an EQ, and I'm gonna emphasize certain harmonics or peaks that I want the sample to have. Then I can drag around these harmonics here. And if we turn off our EQ and the Corpus, I just find it to be a lot of fun to mess around with these plugins because you can change the whole character of the sound that you originally had, which was a saw synth, into something that sounds more organic. And with the help of EQ, you can emphasize certain harmonics or frequencies that you want to push. So it's a lot of experimenting and it's certainly a lot of fun. Try that out. Tip number 5. Using what you already have inside of your track instead of endlessly adding sounds, which will in turn just clutter your mix. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take this tonal sample into perspective. If you're interested in these sounds, feel free to head into the link in the description, grab the Easy Atmos rack, and you'll get a special discount afterwards for these samples. Now, we want to create an ambient texture from the sample that we already have in our track instead of adding samples, instead of adding more synthesizers. So for this example, we're going to use the Easy Atmos rack again. And we're going to resample whatever is coming out of this track. There we go. Hit record. Unfreeze the sound. What I'm going to do now is loop this certain section that I created previously. Increase the gain a bit. Decrease it here. Look how simple this was. Instead of endlessly scrolling through your sample libraries and checking if you can find any other sounds that you could add to the track, you might as well use the sounds that you already have to create ambient textures. It is dope, isn't it? Yeah. Here's a small bonus tip for you because I love you so much. Ambient textures, no matter how you create them or what method you choose to create them, whether it be using reverb, granular synthesizers, or the Easy Atmos rack, they all serve a certain purpose, and that is moving away from a simple drum groove and transitioning into melodies and gaining inspiration. I find it to be very fun to play around with these different samples, freeze them, and get new pads. I'm going to be adding the Easy Atmos rack for you in the description below. All you have to do is click on the free download button, type in your name and email address, and you'll get the download straight into your inbox. And for those of you who are interested in the sounds that I used from this video, you can also grab the Ambiente sample pack, which I created with a lot of love. So it's on sale now. While you're at it, just grab the discount. Let me know if you like the track from this video or the project file. I might as well create a construction kit or add the project file to my website if you really liked it so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit subscribe, that like button, and leave a comment down below. Definitely be expecting more from me.